going on, fam? It's your fam, Zay Gifted, back at y'all with another message, back at y'all with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about me being a loner my whole life. So, yeah, I've been a loner my whole life. Because I saw the world different. I saw people different. I had a different vision. I had a different plan. From the day I was a kid, I knew it was something different about me. Because I still had people around me. I still had friends around me when I was young. But when I was around them, I felt alone. I was still happy in the inside because when you're a kid, you feel all emotional and you're happy and this and that because you're free. You ain't got to work. You ain't got to do this and that. So you got time to do anything you want to do. So when I was a kid, every time I go outside, I go in nature. I go in the woods, go in the trees because that's what I like to do. I like to do little things outside, play with rocks, play football, play this and that. It's like when I get around people, I can feel their energy. It's like I can feel who they really is. People just wanted to be around me to benefit off me because I was beneficial. You got to understand that. But I saw the world different. I saw how everything around me wasn't the same. It was just weird. It was like this place was weird to me. So I knew I had to do something about it, fam. I knew from a young age I had a vision or plan, a dream or something that I wanted to do. But you got to understand that when I started getting older, I started seeing. But as I started getting older, I started isolating myself a lot. So I wasn't outside as much. I started isolating myself. I started figuring out what isolation was. I started sitting in the house and just sitting in front of the TV and just being there by myself and being by myself and enjoying time alone because I started to realize like people is fake. This world, it wasn't real. It's like people thought I was weird. People thought I was just like this person. Like, look, I was popular. So basically a popular loner. I was popular. Everybody knew me. Everybody knew who I was, what I was doing this and that. But they didn't want to be around me because they thought I was weird. They thought I was just ordinary person. Like they didn't think I was real. You got to understand that, fam. Because I saw the world different. I had a vision. I had a plan. It was just like I was different. And they could see that from a young age. So you got to understand that, bro. So it's just like, bro, like, I didn't want to be around a lot of people, bro, because I started to realize my energy and my presence. I started realizing my presence and my energy is very powerful. And so when I went around people, it just like, when I was older, I started getting drained as I went around people. When I go around my friends or my homeboys, I wouldn't even be outside longer than an hour because it's just like I could feel their energy. It's like I didn't want to be around them. I don't like being around people. I like being by myself because when I'm by myself, I get to figure out who I really am, figure out what I'm here to do, what I'm capable of doing, the things I like to do and the things I don't like to do. I can figure out things about myself that I never knew. I can ask myself questions that I never asked myself before that most people are afraid to ask themselves. You got to understand that. When you are by yourself, you get to see everybody for who they is. You get to see who hang with who playing a part in people's life, who playing a role, who putting on the mask and this and that. You got to understand that real bosses, they don't talk. They just sit back and listen. You got to understand that. And then they stack their paper up and they make boss moves. That's what Young Dolph said, right? But yeah, fam, I just sat back and looked. I scoped the environment. I scoped everybody. I scoped people's behavior, patterns, and cycles and this and that. So I just sat back and started viewing all that, bro. You got to understand that, bro. You don't got to be the loudest person in the room. When you sit back, you figure everything out. When you don't talk, you figure everything out. People just open themselves up to you and open them up to who they really are. You got to understand that. So as I started getting older, like remember COVID hit. So everybody had to be in the house. But when COVID hit, it's like, everything just changed. People wasn't the same no more. People started becoming zombies and this and that after the shots. And that's what changed everything. You got to understand that, bro. The thing is, people wanted to be around me, but it was fake. They wanted to be my friend, but it was fake. They all wanted to get into my life to see what I had going on with my life. They all wanted to get into my life to see what I was thinking, to see my next plan, to see how I do things, to see how I move, to see how like basically see my behavior, see what I do so they can try to be like me and basically like energy transport, like destiny slot. They basically wanted to come in my life, see what I was doing, the things that I got, and they wanted to have the same thing. They basically wanted to have my life. They wanted to have the things I have. They wanted to do the things how I do it because they figured if they can do the things that I do, then they can be me. They can be like me, but they're not me. You got to understand that. Everybody's their own person. They're not me. So I started seeing people like for who they really is. They start showing their true mask. Like, you got to understand that what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. So if people faking and doing all this, it's going to soon come out because they can't hide it as much longer as it is around you. You got to understand that. It was like, I just got so sick and tired of it to where like, I cut everybody off, bro. And I just start embracing being alone, bro. I would love people, but it was from a distance. You don't gotta be in everybody's face. You don't gotta be around everybody. You can love people, but you can love them from a distance. You don't owe nobody nothing but love, and that's from a distance. You gotta understand it. You don't gotta be all up in their face, telling them about your business, telling them about this and that. You gotta understand it. But it figures out like when people know you are a loner, they can see it. You gotta understand it. They know. But at the same time, people want to figure out your next moves. They want to figure out your business. So they feel like if you quiet all the time, they can't figure you out. So they figure like you weird, or like you just weak, or this and that, because you're not telling them about what you got going on. But you don't got to tell everybody what you got going on. So basically, yeah, I basically been a popular loner my whole life. And you got to understand that. I'm not trying to brag and say that's a good thing, but at the same time, I know, because I'm on a different mission. I see life for what it is. When I get visions, I know how far I can take it. You got to understand that, fam. And it's just like, bro, you can learn a lot by being alone, bro. You can learn a lot by just being by yourself, bro. Literally, bro. You can learn new skills, new ideas, new challenges, new knowledge that you never thought. You got to understand that. Like, nigga, like, it's crazy, bro. Now that I reflect, it's just like being alone, it saved me from a lot. Being alone, it saved me from unseen dangers and battles that I didn't see. Being alone, living that boring life, it can save you from that this chaos in this destruction world. You got to understand that, bro. When you realize how powerful and how sacred and how, like, protective your energy is, you will start to protect it even more. You will start embracing being alone. You will start not going around everybody so they can pull on your energy. You got to understand that when you go around people and you open your mouth and you tell them or talk to them or just even have a conversation or touch them or hug them, that's energy. You got to understand that. You got to think of the world as like energy and waves and frequencies. That's what all this world is based off of, energy, waves, and frequency. You got to understand that, bro. But so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about like me being a loner my whole life. It could save you from a lot. It can help you learn a lot. You can like, your life can take off by just being alone because you ain't got many distractions. You ain't got many people pulling on your energy. You ain't got, and when problems do come up, you got the problems to yourself. You ain't got nobody else creating more problems, creating more distractions or this and that. You got to understand that when you're around a lot of people, you got they talking, and then them voices coming into your head. Now you got voices in your head, and you got different voices in your head telling you what to do, this and that. That's not even your voices. You got to understand that, bro. When you're alone, it's just like, you can figure out things more clearly. You can hear your voice more clearly. You can hear the Most High's voice more clearly, fam. But you got to understand, when you're around a lot of people, you can't really do that. You can't really think for yourself because it's all crowded and clogged and brain fogged and this and that. So you got to understand that, bro. Yeah. Bro, being alone is good, bro. But at the same time, bro, it's challenging too, because when you know a lot and you alone, it just brings much sorrow and do all this and that because people don't know what you know. But yeah, at the same time, bro, I really love this, bro. I love this life. Yeah, at the same time, I love y'all. Who should love y'all even more? Just stay up and blessed. We true to this. We not new to this. A1.